To follow along with the written version of this pattern and download the interactive PDF, use the links on screen now, in the description below, or by going to clubcrochet.com/pinecone. Hey there, it's Louie, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you how to crochet a pine cone. And not only is this going to be a really cool tutorial just to learn a new technique, but we're also going to be making it into a face. And just for reference, here's a real pine cone. I mean, pretty close, right? I'm really proud of this. It's all made with no sewing, and it's just so cool. I really think you're gonna enjoy this pattern. If you do, please like down below and subscribe to the channel. This is the abridged version of the pattern, by the way, so I'm gonna assume you know how to crochet a little bit, but I did record a full-length video as well as a lefty video. There's written instructions. There's instructions for how to turn it into a dice pouch, so you can turn it into like these little dragon eggs that you can keep dice in. I think it's really cool. You can find the instructions for the full length one or whatever, all the other versions of this tutorial at clubcrochet.com/pinecone. This is part of my Woolly Woods themed season, by the way, a season themed all about woodland critters. So we're making things like barn owls, gnomes, Bigfoot, a pet rock, and little goblins. You can find all those patterns at clubcrochet.com/woods. If you're a complete beginner and you've never crocheted before in your life, I highly suggest you start with a more beginner friendly pattern like our pet rock here. That's a free tutorial that'll teach you all the basics of crochet, or Crocheting 101, my 101 series that'll take you through all the basics so you never need to miss a stitch. But with this pattern, we're going to be going real quick and learning how to crochet our pine cone. And the last thing I want to talk about is all the materials that you're going to need to crochet this pattern along with me. For this pattern, you're going to need the following materials. Let's start with the yarn. I'm going to be using worsted weight yarn and 100% cotton just because it's my favorite kind of yarn to use for amigurumi, but you can really use any kind of yarn that you want. In fact, this one here is made with acrylic yarn that makes it look a little shiny, great for making a dragon egg, but you can even use blanket yarn if you want to make a gigantic pine cone, which also makes a really cool pine cone pouch. It's almost like a purse, and I keep little goblins in this one. If you do end up deciding to make it into a pouch, you're only going to also need a button for adding to your pull ties. So that's just something to keep in mind. For the yarn colors, obviously we're going to be using mostly brown, but if you want to add a face, you want a little bit of white yarn. You might want some safety eyes for adding a little face, and you might want a little bit of black yarn for making a little smile. Other than that, you'll need some stuffing for if you want it sewn closed. You'll need a darning needle. This pattern is actually made with no sewing, but a darning needle does help you get in and out of hard to reach stitches, which is good for sewing in the end at the very end, but you can also do it with just a crochet hook if you don't have a needle. And then you'll need a pair of scissors for cutting stuff. For the crochet hook, I'm going to be using a size G 4mm crochet hook for this pattern, but if you want to use a larger crochet hook for blanket yarn, try a size L. This is the one that I used when I made our gigantinormous pine cone. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to talk about. If you have any questions at all for this pattern, please let me know in the comments down below, and let's get hooking. We're going to start by making our pinecone body itself. To begin our pinecone's body, start using brown and make a magic loop. For round 1, single crochet 6 times into the magic loop. For the remainder of the pinecone's body, we're going to work only into the back loops of the stitches. This is going to leave the front loops revealed, which we're going to use later to add the scales onto the pattern. For round 2, working only in those back loops, increase into each stitch, which just means put 2 single crochets into every stitch around. You should have 12 stitches by the end of round 2. For round 3, single crochet 3, and then increase once. Repeat that process 3 times total, which will take your stitch count up from 12 up to 15 stitches around. For round 4, single crochet 4 times, and then increase once. Repeat that process 3 times total to go up from 15 to 18 stitches around. For round 5, single crochet 5 times and then increase once. Repeat that process 3 times total to go up from 18 stitches to 21 stitches around. For rounds 6 through 8, we'll be single crocheting into each stitch around. That's if you want to make it without a face. If you want to make it with a face, then just round 6 single crochet into each stitch, and round 7 we're going to add our face. To add your pinecone's face, all we need to do is add mini bobble stitches to replace for the eyes. We're going to single crochet 7 times and then make a mini bobble stitch in all white. then single crochet 5 more times, and make a second mini bobble stitch in all white. Finish round 7 up by single crocheting 7 more times to get to the end of the round with 21 stitches around. For round 8, we'll single crochet into each stitch around. Don't forget, we're working only in the back loops. Now to add our face, I'll add safety eyes into the mini bobble stitches that I made in round 7. And then we'll add a simple smile to the middle of the stitches between eyes. Now let's get back to crocheting. For round 9, we'll single crochet 5 times and then decrease once. Then repeat that process 3 times total to go back down to 18 stitches around. For this pattern, our decreases are going to be made with a single crochet 2 together, by the way. After round 9 is where we'll differentiate if you're going to convert your pinecone into a pouch. If you want to learn more about that, check out the full-length tutorial at clubcrochet.com/pinecone. For round 10, we'll single crochet 1 into the first stitch and then decrease 1 into the next stitch. We'll then repeat that process 6 times total to bring our stitch count down from 18 back down to 12 stitches around. Now stuff your pinecone mostly. For round 11, decrease into each stitch all the way around. To add an optional stem to the bottom of your pinecone, crochet a mini bobble stitch into the next stitch before cutting and stuffing. Now we can finish the pinecone's body up by cutting the yarn and pulling it through, then stuffing the pinecone's body fully and sewing closed by using the front loops only from all the stitches in the last round of your crochet. Now let's add the scales to go around the pinecone. Work your crochet hook into the first unused front loop only from the very start of the pattern. Pull a loop of our main color through that front loop only and chain 1 to connect it to the piece. We'll be working the following repeat all the way around until the very end of our pinecone's body. Chain 2, half double crochet 1 into the next front loop only, chain 1, and then slip stitch 1 into the next front loop only. We'll then repeat that process all the way around until the very end of your piece. There should be around 82 scales total. Again, that's chain 2, half double crochet into the next stitch, chain 1, then slip stitch into the next stitch, and keep repeating that all the way to the end. You should finish with a slip stitch. Then you can cut the yarn and pull it through. Thread the end on a needle, then back into the piece to hide it fully. Thank you so much for crocheting this pattern along with me. I hope you enjoyed making it as much as I enjoyed designing it, and I do have to say, this design is so cool. I'm so proud of it. I really hope you enjoyed making it. If you did, please like this video down below and subscribe to the channel. I intend on using this design, or at least like variations of how we made this design, to make a few other things like hedgehogs and maybe bigger dragon eggs. I just think there's so many things that we can use this technique for. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and I think you're gonna see a lot more things like this from the channel very soon. All right, well, if you wanna check out more of our woodland critters, you can find them all at clubcrochet.com/woods. Thanks again for watching. Check out more patterns at clubcrochet.com, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Goodbye, my friend. So long. Bye-bye.